everyone. Today I will be doing another interview thing for class. Question 1. When you worked on multiple projects, how did you prioritize? I prioritize projects based on when each project is due, though when multiple projects are listed as being due on the same day, I tend to rank them based on difficulty. Once I correctly prioritize and order the projects in the most efficient manner of completion, then I start working. Question 2. Give an example of how you've worked on a team. I have worked on a team before multiple times in school, like on group projects. I usually am either leading the project or I am the second most prominent voice in meetings. I work fast and think faster, so I may have more authority in discussions, or I get more of the work done myself. Recently I worked with my friends on an animation project in which my friends designed some of the characters, wrote and read the script, while I did everything else. Question 3. Tell me about how you worked efficiently under pressure. The last time I was working under real pressure was for a business class at another school. I was working with 3 other people on a group project in which they hardly participated. I was talking a million miles a second, trying to make charts and voicing my thoughts on how much these hypothetical employees would be paid. I made a majority of the slides for our presentation even, mostly because I was on a pressurized journey down the river of work. The professor definitely caught on that I was basically working alone, and I got the most ridiculous grade I've ever seen. It was like 400% or something like that. Question 4. Have you ever made a mistake? How did you handle it? I make mistakes all the time. I'm human after all, even while making mistakes. No, redo. I make mistakes all the time. I'm human after all, we all make mistakes. My most recent mistake happened when I misread instructions for my journalism assignment, in which I made a quiz based on other students' picture projects. The context was I was trying to get home, but there was a lot of traffic, so I had barely 10 minutes to complete the homework. I work well under pressure, so I completed 2 assignments in under 10 minutes, but I forgot some specific details. I was supposed to make the multiple choice questions only have 1 answer each, and answer the short question section myself. Thankfully, the teacher was merciful and let me fix my mistakes. Question 5. Give an example of how you set goals and achieve them. I set my goals as steps instead of a big blaring objective. If it's an essay, then I write out the beginning of the sentences before actually writing the essay. If it's a quiz, then I spend the morning studying before starting the quiz. If it's a big project, then I line up each step to complete projects in the most efficient order. Taking things step by step puts into perspective what the goal means, and that helps me reach success faster than an exhaustive sprint like the tortoise to the hare. You know that myth, that story. You know that fable. Question number 6. What would you do if you made a strong recommendation in a meeting, but your colleagues decided against it? Ooh. I would at first be surprised and a little embarrassed, but I would more likely be curious. I am open to new ideas, and the perspectives of my colleagues could offer more insight into recommendations than I could imagine. I would ask them questions about the concepts until I can see where their reasons lie, ending in either my acceptance of their proposal or my continued persistence for my idea. Question number 5. How would you handle it if the priorities for a project you were working on were suddenly changed? If the priorities for a project I was working on were suddenly changed, I would be reasonably upset. I would be frustrated, but also ashamed that I must have gotten the instructions wrong. I would ask many questions, half of which probably won't get answered if the work was critical and everyone was busy, but asking for guidance can't hurt. Then I would feel pressure to do whatever work I had to do until it was done, because if I can do something, then I will. Question number 8. What would you do if an important task was not up to standard, but the deadline to complete it had passed? If an important task was not up to standard past the deadline, then I would work late hours to get it completed. I would put it in as much work as I have to. I tend to start projects slow but suddenly ramp up to a speedy completion. I have confidence that I can achieve a completed product if I am focused enough. Question number 9. How would you handle a colleague you were unable to form a positive relationship with? If I had to work with a colleague I did not form a positive relationship with, then I would at least try to get us to a neutral relationship. If that fails, then I am alright with their one-sided rivalries and stuff. I can be competitive. The challenge might even fuel better work. Question number 10. You realize that an early mistake in a project is going to put you behind the deadline. What do you do? If I realized I made a mistake early on in a project that would put me behind the deadline, then I would be shocked, but I would persevere. I've experienced mistakes like that before, such as back in animation class, in which I rigged a model completely wrong and had to redo the rigging all over again. Although I had to re-rig over 200 bones, including the model's 10 hands, because I already had rigged it once before, I utilized my prior experience and was able to fully re-rig the model in under an hour. Basically, I would remember my experience in doing the project before as a guide and how to really complete the project, like a tutorial. Alright, that's all the questions. Thank you for listening. Goodbye!